We are off to a wonderful start. What's going on, everybody? Hello. Welcome to our MLS Watchalong.
Wow. Wow.
I was like, am I hosting or is Charlie?
Yeah. Was that a dare?
Confused.
What just
I don't know,
happened?
but it was kind of amazing. Like, I was literally getting the countdown. I'm like, here we go. And then it was like, Charlie's voice came out of my mouth, and I'm like, do I sound this cool all the time? What is going on? Like, I wasn't mad about it. It was. I wasn't
a part of that pregame show, by the way. So I don't know what. I don't know what just happened.
Okay. So now that we've got that under control, guys, this is we are here in our AT&T 5G virtual studios. This is our MLS watch along of the United States taking on Morocco in an international friendly. I am Susannah Collins, and I could not be more excited to be joined by this group of guys. Charlie Davies, you already heard. Thank you very much. He is a legend, former MLSer, former U.S. men's national team member, one of the best in the biz. We have our armchair analyst, Matt Doyle, and we also have, I don't even know how to tee this guy up. It's like too many accolades, but just literally the man, the myth, the legend, DeMarcus Beasley in the house, the collective soccer IQ of all of these dudes in one place at one time. It's off the charts. My mind is blown. So great to be with you guys. This is going to be so much fun. Before we kind of dive into everything, we're about maybe like 8 minutes from kickoff here. This is an international friendly, but Greg Berhalter has said that these next two matches against Morocco and Uruguay, both two teams that are both headed to Qatar this winter. He's taken these games very, very seriously. So this is a big test for them, he has said in interviews leading up to these matches. I'm curious to kind of take your temperature, guys, on what I don't know where you're sitting right now, how you're feeling about the U.S. men's national team ahead of these matchups. And also, before we do that, quick reminder, guys, we've got the Twitch chat open. We have the YouTube chat open. This is all about you, interactive. Get in there, ask us questions, give us give us feedback, be nice. But yeah, we want you guys to get involved. So DeMarcus, I want to start with you. How are you feeling about this U.S. men's national team right now?
Yeah, I feel good. I think what Greg Berhalter said is true. They should take these games seriously. This is, it's only 4 or 5 months before the World Cup, before their first match, and they're not going to have too many chances to play together. So yeah, they should take this match seriously. Obviously, there's some guys that are pretty much have booked their ticket to the World Cup in Qatar, and there's other ones that are kind of trying to find their niche, trying to find that their rhythm. So you can look at it both ways. But as for players and for Berhalter, for the national team, these games are serious, and I'm looking forward to watching.
Love it. All right, Chuck, what you got? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm really curious to see how these new faces integrate in the squad. For me in particular, you talk about the 9 position. Yeah, Jesus Ferreira has been on a tear. He is playing the best he's ever played in his career. But I'm really curious to see what Haji Wright brings to the table. I'm really curious to see what Malik Tillman can bring to the table. I know he's more of a 10, and we don't typically play with a 10, but that doesn't mean we can't play with a 10. And I think from our midfield, Yunus Musa, as good as he is as a player, I think he's in the mold of our Darlington Nagbe. So it's a lot of keep possession, can dribble out of possession, good on the ball, great technique. But the end product, I need to see a little bit more. And that's where his game can improve. Goals, assists, being maybe the pass before that pass to create that goal. So if it's not Yunus Musa, then what can Tillman bring to the table?
Yeah, we got some fresh faces in this camp, which is great to see. Matt Doyle, what about you? What are you looking for? What are you excited about? Give us a scoop.
I just want to have fun, Sue.
Doyle.
Yeah,
you have fun.
I'm looking at Charlie's face.
Honestly, World Cup qualifying is so damn miserable, and it's been like a year straight of we do these games, we do these watch-alongs, and we try to have fun, but like you're living and dying with every freaking touch of the ball during qualifying. And like Morocco's a really good team. I do think we're going to learn some things.
Yeah.
This is like a friendly. It's going to feel so different from what we got used to from the end of August through the start of April. And I think that'll allow me to enjoy it more. And then it becomes up to the players themselves to make the case for themselves, to say that, like, okay, I understand that we're 6 months from a World Cup. I understand that we have 6 more games left. I have to go out and make an impression, not just for the head coach, but for my teammates, to show that I deserve to wear the shirt and I deserve to be on that plane. I deserve to be on the field. So I'm hoping to just enjoy some soccer and enjoy some lovely conversation with y'all, and hopefully at the end of the game we'll be able to say 5-6 names like, yeah, that guy really impressed me. That was really a lot of fun. And I'm just so freaking relieved that qualifying is over and we're here and we're like in the home stretch before the World Cup itself. Guys,
we might get like Doyle unleashed tonight. And
easy. No,
this
come
is
on.
Very
now.
Exciting. Like Doyle having fun is just. I mean, this we need to appreciate.
I'm also
this.
Arab, so I'm maybe rooting for Morocco a little bit. You know, like a little bit. Yeah. So
you learn something new every day. All right.
Yes. Amazing. God,
I didn't know that either. I was just.
So here for this. Well, we've got you guys are getting active in the chat already, which is awesome. Keep doing it. This is great. Khalid MP3, he says, I just hope for a lot of goals. And I think I think we're all in the mood to see the ball hit the back of the net tonight. So we are with you there, Khalid. Right now, guys, let's should we take a look at the starting 11 for the US? This is how it is going to be lining up. I think the one of the things that is interesting, obviously, Miles Robinson, as we know, went down with that Achilles injury. So we've got Aaron Long pairing up with Walker Zimmerman. I mean, how he's himself is coming off an Achilles injury, and he's been playing well for Red Bulls, but this is going to be his first match for the U.S. since March 28th of 2021. So we have not seen him feature. How are we feeling about the potential for this center back pairing, guys? DeMarcus, what do you think?
I mean, I was a big fan, and I still
Yeah.
am of Aaron. I think before he got injured, obviously we all can agree that he was probably going to be one of the names that was on the World Cup roster. But he got injured. You never know how you're going to come back from a Achilles injury. And like you said, he's been playing well. I would have liked. I think in this game, I think I understand what Berhalter's trying to do. I mean, he's trying to have some kind of stability of what it could look like in the World Cup, to have those two center backs, those positions, play together, more so than just a couple games before the World Cup. So I get it. I would have liked to see, maybe Carter Vickers, somebody, maybe somebody new in that position. But like I said, I understand what Berhalter's doing. I love Long. I think he's very good on the ball. He's a good passer. I like him, for the national team. So we'll see how he adapts to playing with Zimmerman again and go from there.
There's that Scottish bias from you.
Well, I mean,
he's not going to be saying he wants a Celtic guy in there. Come on now.
No, but that word never came out of my mouth. Thank you, Matt. I appreciate that.
He's stumping for James Sands here. Come on now, right?
Chuck, how you feeling about this starting 11?
I'm feeling good about it.
Yeah.
I would have like Bees. I would have liked to see Eric Palmer Brown, just because he had such a strong season in Liga, playing consistently, and they stayed up in Liga, and I think he's going to be staying with his club. So for me, I would have liked to see him. But Aaron Long, I get it. This is a player who had tremendous potential. I think he was an impact player, covered a lot of ground, and I think Long and Zimmerman could be a good partnership, and that's what you're looking for in those two center backs, people that they understand each other. In terms of the midfield, Aronson in that position. So we saw him with the Union, very influential just with his running off the ball, his press. But now you playing in the midfield in international soccer is a lot different than playing in the midfield in MLS. And so now, can he be in those good positions? Can he get on the ball? Can sometimes he dictate the tempo of the attack? Those are the things I'm going to be looking for in terms of, it's not just all running now in that spot. You got to get on the ball sometimes and dictate if the ball is going to go north-south versus east-west.
Yep. All right. We have officially kicked off the kids. Doyle, I'm curious to get your take on Brendan Aronson, because I know this is a guy that you really, really like. How do you think he's going to play in this sort of setup with Berhalter, and not so much on the wing?
I don't actually like him that much in midfield for the reasons that Charlie said, right? Like anytime, whether he's played there for Philly or now RB Salzburg, and the couple of times he's played in central midfield for the U.S., including early in qualifying, he's purely north-south. Right, everything about his game is about getting into those transition moments, and like that's not how the rest of the U.S. play under Berhalter. So the big thing is, like, he just doesn't naturally set tempo, and he doesn't find a lot of the ball. And the way that this system is set up, you need your midfielders to get on the ball a lot. You need them to be able to take opponents out of the play, not just with their movement, but with their passing and their ability to sort of reverse the direction of the possession, like that ability to sort of have a little bit of deceptiveness. And that's not been Aronson's game. And it's actually why I'm a little bit surprised that he's starting in central midfield. I thought we had kind of seen that experiment a few times under Berhalter. It didn't work. That said, he's a Champions League player. He just got sold for $30 million.
Sure did.
It's worth seeing it again, I guess. Like I'm not going to complain. I'm just saying, like, I have reservations. The other thing to note about
Doyle, you said you were going to have fun tonight.
I am having fun. This is how I have fun. I complain. The other thing I like about it, though, is with Ferreira, he's going to drop in. Ferreira's going to drop in and be a playmaker, and that when he drops in, that will allow Aronson the chance to run north-south and go direct.
It was an easy out for Berhalter just because McKinney wasn't starting, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So we had a question about McKinney. Somebody asked, where is that guy who plays for Juventus? And the answer is he's still coming back from a foot injury that he sustained in February while he's playing for Juventus. He is with the squad, but he, like Berhalter said, that he is only about 20 minutes fit. So we may see.
Too.
We'll probably. Yeah, I mean, same. Honestly, let's be on. I'd be pushing it at 20. These Peloton workouts are, like I think I'm really sweating, but it's
Charlie, last time we had Bees on one of these, he said he had an injured calf and he could only give you 15 minutes and That's it.
That's the same calf problem. I'm telling you.
Are you Bees? You're still nursing that same one?
Yeah, I might be 10 minutes now. I'll tell you. I said 15 minutes about a month ago. I might be 10 now. I just turned 40. I got a couple more gray hairs now, so I'm telling you, I got about 10 minutes.
Oh, that's why he's wearing the hat. It all makes sense.
It
all makes sense. I know your tricks. Hey, Charlie, we got John Carl Tritt in the chat. He says, got my 2010 number 9 Davies US shirt hanging over the fireplace for luck. Let's go. Respect.
The good old days.
Who's got the Beasley jerseys out? Come on, kids. Let us know.
This is good.
Nobody.
Good ball.
No.
I got mine.
Vintage. It's collecting dust somewhere. I'm telling you.
Vintage.
This is a good start from the U.S. team, by the way.
It is.
What are you
winning
liking?
the second ball.
What are we liking?
I mean, okay, and you know what? I agree with Doyle, and I kind of wish it wasn't, but it looks like a friendly. Morocco is really slow, really sluggish. I saw what's the one that plays for PSG, the right back, Hakimi. He gave the ball away twice in like a minute, like just sluggish, Yeah. So yeah, it definitely looks like a friendly.
You think the Cincinnati nightlife got to them?
Probably. They're coming off a long season. They know they have 6 months to go. Yeah, for sure.
Oh God, so good. Guys, a reminder, we're going to have a very special guest join us at 8 p.m. Mehdi Ballouchy, who is a former MLSer. He featured for 5 different teams. He is also born in Morocco. He is going to be joining us and give us his thoughts on this Morocco team. Now, this is a team that, as we said, qualified for Qatar, but they group of death. Is that what we called it? Group F. It is with Canada, Belgium, and Croatia.
Yeah. Two semifinalists from last time, and Morocco is really good, and Canada's obviously a lot better than their ranking. So, that's rough.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to get his take on this Moroccan team.
That flank with Hakimi and Alphonso Davies, that'll be
fun.
That'll be a must watch. Sorry, Suze, I cut you off.
No, Doyle's excited, guys. We are embracing this. You can interrupt me at any moment. I am just chatting away.
So the interesting thing about the formation right now is that Moose is on the left side of that 3-man midfield. And that is not where he played basically at all in qualifying. Mm-hmm. He was always on the right-hand side. At times it looked like he was afraid to, even come to the left side of the pitch. I wonder if that's just to make him more comfortable with the idea of working on that side, or something with Aronson Aronson attacks better from the right side, perhaps. I don't even know.
Oh, it's a nice ball.
But then, I ask you this, though. So defensively, because obviously we know that Christian will come in and Jedi will go and push up and left. So obviously someone has to come in and, cover that left-sided, that area when they go and attack.
That's a really good point.
So do you see Musa kind of be more defensive than Aronson, and just in this lineup?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
There you go. Okay, there you go.
And he's been more defensive than McKinney at times.
Yeah.
So
I agree with that, yeah.
I think he drops too deep, and it's almost like he's a second defensive midfielder with Tyler Adams, because he drops so deep. When he does get the ball, he's forced to dribble past that first line, and then when he does dribble past that first line, he doesn't keep driving. He gets rid of it. Yeah. And I think just because of that start position, it doesn't really there's no connect to the number 9. You talk about support for your striker, your lone striker. There's no one underneath because everyone's so deep.
Charlie, is Musa a starter in Qatar for you?
There's hesitation.
He's one of my favorite players, but at the moment, I'd say no.
So who starts?
Who starts in the midfield?
A healthy Gio Reyna for me would be that guy. I'd like to see him play in that role.
Interesting.
Oh,
So you would keep Timmy Way. I'll wing or put Aronson out wide.
Well, if Haji Wright turns out to be the guy I hope him to be and expect him to be, then I'd keep Timothy Weah out wide right, Haji Wright up top if he ends up being the guy. Now you have 2 players who can break the lines with their pace, who acceleration, who stretch the field. Now there's a little bit more dynamism within the team because you're talking about players who can get on the ball, who can create, who can dribble 1v1. Now you have players who can stretch. So it's not so predictable. I think this U.S. attack right now is so predictable. For the top teams in the world, you play against the U.S. and you're like, oh, this isn't threatening to me. You got a number 9 who's disconnected from the midfield, or a number 9 who checks into the midfield, and then you have no deep threat. We know Christian's your guy. We're going to lock him down. You don't really have a goal scorer because you look at the teams. That's where we're struggling is we don't score enough goals, and I think in a variety of goals. We got to rely on set pieces. I think in the World Cup we're going to have to heavily rely on set pieces in some games. Iran, super defensive, low block. They're good in transition. That's going to be a tough team to break down. So you think about that versus England, who's going to be on the front foot. They might even take that game for granted because they're very confident. So that could be a game
not after Brendan's comments. I'll tell you that.
Well, you can just expect them to kind of be on the front foot where they're not expecting the U.S. to press them and be high and try and take the game to them. So I think with each game, there's a different challenge, and I think the U.S. needs a little bit more in attack and out of the midfield. And Weston and Tyler aren't going anywhere.
No,
they're too important, vital for the success. So, who is that third midfielder between Reyna, Musa, Tillman, Aronson? That's a big concern. And then figuring out who is the 9.
that's the big question though, right? Because we've got Jesus Ferrer in there now, who seems to have kind of established himself as winning that position. But is that the answer? Is that?
That's the thing. No, no one can tell you that's
who can emerge? Is this
they all can because no one's taking the
What
spot,
about Pepe? Like, is there any hope have we given up on?
No,
I don't think
no.
But that's the thing, Suze. That's I think scary, right? As great as Jesus Ferrer is playing and the progress he's making, that's still not enough for people to say he's the 9, right? Because
I agree.
Because I think his upside is, I guess, limited in a sense. So, I think that's the problem is as good as he's doing.
Goal.
He's still not a lock.
Good save. Am I early?
It's just, I think you might be
or you're ahead.
We're off. This is a good reminder, guys. We've got a clock up on the screen. So if you are watching along with us and you want to be synced to what we're watching, although apparently we don't know where DeMarcus is.
How was that?
He's somewhere.
DeMarcus
I don't know.
Way ahead.
Yeah,
I don't know. But if you want to be with the rest of us, then you can sync up. Just keep an eye on.
I'm telling you I'm telling you that Fort Wayne internet is on point.
It's halftime in Fort Wayne,
Indiana. I'm telling you.
Oh my God, he poured himself a drink. Oh my God. Wait, this is actually, guys, in the chat, we're having this conversation about the number 9. Who should be the number 9? I want you guys to get in the chat right now. Let us know who you think should be the starting number 9 for the U.S. In Qatar. Because I'm looking at this situation. There's just not a lot of time, like there's not a lot of time before now and then for somebody to like just, I don't know, come along. There's not that many games to establish yourself. And so at this point, it's almost like Ferreira seems like the safest bet, but
I mean, ideally, he keeps playing at the level he's playing at, and Haji keeps playing at the level he's playing at, and guys in MLS like, Obobisi and Vasquez keep playing at this level, and Pepe comes back, Daryl DK comes back, and everybody has a chance to make a case for themselves, man. Like,
you guys, I forgot about Daryl DK.
Yeah,
I literally forgot about Daryl DK.
Yeah,
that's awful. That's really awful. I know it was looking. If there was a moment in time where it was like we have Pepe, we've got DK, like oh my gosh, like here we go. And
I still feel like that.
Do you?
Yeah, like
you really are. You really are in a good mood tonight.
I think a lot of these guys are really good. Like it took a while, but Haji Wright, Brandon Vasquez, Jeremy Abobasi were all identified as like high level talents as kids. They were in the U.S. youth national teams for a reason. Not everybody develops on a linear path. Not everybody's like bees, where you pluck them from the U17s and you drop them into the national team basically, and he's killing it. Like most guys take a while, but these guys are making a case for themselves now. They're 23, 24 years old. Like this is what you want. I mean, ideally it would have happened 2 years ago, but to have 3 or 4 guys like this who are doing it with their clubs, you have to feel confident about that.
Yeah, just stay healthy, please. That would be great. We've got Jesus Ferreira is overwhelmingly winning the chat here. My favorite though, Greg Rakulis said no striker, just vibes. And I'm kind of like, let's go. Let's go.
Dude, if they need vibes, they're bringing Charlie back to play striker, man. That's what it is.
Well, no, some guy named Deadbeat said Charlie Davies as the third string.
Bring Charlie and Josie. I'm telling you, that's all you need. Vibes, Charlie and Josie. That's all you need.
They still got it.
That was a vibe.
Still got it. Good vibes all around. All right, so we're about what? Well, DeMarcus it is halftime where DeMarcus is, but it's
I'm watching the halftime show right now.
He's actually watching the World Cup right now.
Hey, I'm telling you, I got to move to Fort Wayne, bro.
DeMarcus is coming to us from the future. In case anybody wanted to know. Oh God. We've got a question here in the chat. Neo Disgraceful asks, where's Jordan Morris fit into all of this? Do we see him making the World Cup roster? Will he be a role player, bench guy? Is he the guy you put in there for some depth? What is he in the plans? What do you think?
He's got a ways to go. He's got to finish the season strong with the Sounders to give himself a real chance. Now, watching him play, he's still catching up, and he knows it too. The injuries have knocked him back quite a bit.
Yeah.
But from what I've seen, he still has enough to get the job done. His finishing needs work, and I think that's always need work. But I don't think he's going to be considered as a 9 in this system. He's going to be a winger who gives you a vertical threat, just getting in behind, his work rate, just his running off the ball. That's where Jordan Morris, his strength is with this team. You know he's going to defend, so you don't have to really worry about that. But the problem is Paul Arriola can do the same thing for you, and he's on fire right now.
He's on fire.
Yeah.
Playing really, really well.
I mean, the other issue is that winger is so deep for the U.S. Pulisic,
So deep.
Weah, Reyna, I think Aronson. I think those 4 guys, their best
Areola.
position, Areola as well. Their best position is winger. I still think Christian Roldan's best position is winger, and he has never gotten a chance to play there, basically, and he's a really good player. He led CCL in assists while playing as a winger, and he can't even really break into that mix. Guys like Areola, Morris, and Roldan, I guess, they're just going to have to play out of their minds in MLS to factor in. Now, if they do expand the roster to 26, I think 1 or 2 of them can sort of sneak in at the end of the roster. especially because in Areola and Roldan's case, they're pretty versatile. But like breaking into, the main rotation, that's tough. That's real tough.
That hasn't been decided yet. 23 or 26.
I haven't seen it
roster?
officially. I haven't seen it officially decided. Everybody's acting like it's 26. But until I see FIFA come out and say, yeah, it's going to be a 26-man roster this year, and I think it's the same thing with subs. I'm assuming it'll be 5 subs because nobody's changed anything with that since COVID started. But there's been nothing official about it with regards to the World Cup that I know of.
And with that heat, it better be 5.
No kidding, right? Woo!
Sure.
Hot. One of the guys who got the call up that is unfortunately, it's just so unlucky. Georgi Mihailovic, who is literally having the best season of his life, like MLS MVP candidate right now as it stands. A guy like that, you pick up a knock right before this would have been a huge opportunity for him. How much harder does he have to work now to kind of keep himself in the conversation, Doyle?
I mean, it's the same thing as with Areola and Morris and Roldan, and obviously, like missing this camp is huge. It's really bad luck for Georgie, because like this was going to be his best chance to make a case to Greg that we got guys a little ahead. I think if you're watching, you may want to watch the next 10 seconds. These big switches right to left. This is two or three times. Yeah. Absolutely killed the U.S. Just undressed them.
And right now, the connection between Aaron and Reggie has not been good. They've been passing through them two pretty handily.
The thing about Morocco is like this setup is actually really similar to how England played last year at the Euros, just in terms of their formation and everything. So I wonder if that's something that Berhalter's kind of thinking of as a reason for scheduling this team in this game.
All right, we've got another question in the chat. Dead Beef, love this guy. It's really getting in there. Wants to know if George Bello is going to get the call up in Qatar. What do you think, Charlie?
I think, unfortunately, it's all about timing, and I don't see him making the roster at this point.
Yep.
Then who's the backup left back, Chuck? Right, because Anthony Robinson is going to be a starter. We all know that.
Serginho Dest.
Yeah, I don't love that. Oof.
Chris Richards.
He's not a left back. He's going to be starting in central defense.
I'm saying you have these players who can fill in as a backup left back. I don't think you're going to go into it being like, oh, I need to bring just a flat out left back. If you have certain players who can kind of fill in and you have a deep roster in other positions. So you talk about those players who can fill in. Kellen Acosta can play left back if he had to. You just think of other players. You don't anticipate injuries or red cards, but if that were the case, then oh boy, you might be in a predicament. But I don't think he's going to go in and get straight out backup left backs and right backs. Maybe right back, but I don't think he'll do that for left back.
Bees, what say you? Yeah.
I was going to say, I kind of agree with Charlie, but I look at it in a different point of view, is that I don't think there's been another left back that's kind of, shown that he can be a backup to Anthony, to Robinson. So do you just take a left back just because, you take a left back to get cover? I think if you use, what Charlie kind of explained about having, Serginho Dest play left, you can even at a pinch, put Acosta back there. I mean, you want players that obviously earn their right to be there. I'm not saying these guys haven't earned it, but you look at a left back that hasn't played except for Robinson, and hasn't been anyone that's had actually a decent game to say, okay, yeah, I can see them having a backup at a left back. So I agree with Charlie on that aspect.
I will make a bet. I will make a bet with you guys that one of George Bello, Joe Scally, or Kevin Paredes makes this roster explicitly as a backup left back.
Who was the third one you said?
Kevin Paredes. The kid who got sold to he was a star for DC United last year. He got sold to Wolfsburg for about $9 million.
Wolfsburg.
He didn't play much. I was disappointed he didn't play because it's Wolfsburg. He didn't play much this spring, but I think he's going to start getting regular minutes like right out the gates in August, and he's a superb talent. And like I understand the point that you guys are making, but to me, given how important Anthony Robinson is and the width he provides up the left, I feel like Berhalter's got to bring a like for like replacement. He's got to bring someone who could overlap, has pace, can whip in across, can combine a little bit, just because with the way the U.S. play, we need that from that left side. And even when Serginho, who's a better player, when Serginho plays left back, he plays it in a completely different style. And the knock-on effect just changes too much about how the U.S. plays. So I will bet that one of Paredes, Scally, or Bello actually makes the Qatar roster.
But when Scally plays left back, he does the same thing because he's a right-footed left back.
Yeah, but he doesn't pitch inside though. Like he has no possession instincts at all, Charlie. Like he's like shot out of a cannon. He just runs touchline to touchline or end line to end line.
He doesn't give you what Anthony Robinson gives you, even as a left back. If he could play ideally in his situation, he's playing right back. He's not playing left back. I think George Bello, he had his opportunities, and watching him, he's not ready. So
I agree.
Would you put him in a World Cup match? I don't think so.
No, I mean ideally none of these. Ideally none of these guys play. Ideally, Anthony Robinson can go every minute, but if you have to choose between, putting Chris Richards out there or putting Kellen out there, and you just know if you do that, like you're not going to get any width up the left side. Like I would
do it.
Oof.
I would take that. I would bet on Anthony Robinson's fitness and how he's just a physical freak and can play 90 minutes every single game and give that one position, the depth in midfield or at winger and adding an extra striker, whatever it is, another center back, any other position. There are a lot of other positions. I would rather use that one spot somewhere else than use it on a left back that's never going to play and is not going to give you
good touch.
It's never going to give you.
Ayrton, go!
It's coming.
Oh, thank you. I haven't seen that yet. He's in the future.
Wow.
God. All right. So I know a goal's coming.
Great touch
this
by Christian, by the way.
Dude,
so that was
literally
Zimmerman's long ball.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Wow. Oh, what a cut.
Oh!
Wow.
There it is.
Beautiful.
There it is.
Hey, long balls work sometimes.
They do. Absolutely.
That was really, really pretty.
Great run.
Zimmerman, long
The
ball.
ball
Okay.
from Zimmerman. I have been so impressed with Walker Zimmerman. And this guy is just,
progress.
hasn't he? I feel like in a very short period of time.
A lot of people, there's a lot of hate out there for Walker Zimmerman. I don't know. Maybe it's because of the way, he's a tough center back and he's a cocky center back. And I think that rubs people the wrong way. But there's a clear line. There's no one's in the middle. They either love him and they respect his game, or they're like, he can't play. How dare you say you got to cement him in? He's the number one center back right now.
Yeah.
That's the reality. He is the first center back penned in right now. And what a ball!
That first touch from Pulisic,
from Christian.
That first touch from Christian was ridiculous.
I don't think people understand how hard that is.
It was coming over his shoulder, and it was just,
he had to defend on him, and
it's not that hard. I do it in video games all the time, man.
Yeah, that was
and that's why you have Aronson in that position, right? We're talking about running off the ball.
Yep.
He makes that's his strength right there.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to read that, make a great run, and be there for the tap in. Now we haven't seen him get on the ball and play some of those passes
not at all. Not yet.
Dribble. So, and like you said, these games, it's tough to, yes, Morocco's a quality opponent. They have some great players, but this isn't a World Cup for them. I highly doubt they're coming into this with the same amount of importance as these U.S. players.
No.
That's just, I just feel like the reality of it. And,
yeah, true.
And, as the game goes on, I think then they start to get more in it. The competition comes out and then they start to feel. But like you said, the start, it was kind of like, all right, let's just, keep this easy,
We got a great This guy, Greg Rakulis is on fire. He said, we interrupt this wild take from Charlie to bring you a goal.
Wild take. Come on, Chuck. Don't let him do you like that, man. Don't let him do you like that, Chuck.
Greg, keep it coming.
There's no wild takes here, Greg.
Keep it coming.
Good old Greg.
You want a wild take from Charlie? Celtics in 4. How about that?
That's a wild take.
Let's talk some NBA. Why not?
I'm speaking realism for you, Craig. some realness.
So one of the things that we saw after that hydration break, and you actually see it on the build up to the goal, in the first 20 minutes. God, Musa's so good. In the first 20 minutes, Musa was dropping deep and central. So it was almost like, instead of a single pivot, it was almost like a double pivot. He was lining up next to Tyler. This is exactly what Charlie was talking about sometimes with his game. He's almost like lining up next to Tyler. Berhalter had him flare out wide in the U.S. buildup from the back. So he was spread out wide, and Anthony Robinson was pushed up further on the left flank with chalk on his boots, and that allowed Christian to drop into the pocket. And when Christian dropped into the pocket, he brought defenders with him. And as soon then, like, because of the way that rotation worked, it just completely disorganized the Moroccan back line, and that's why Christian was able to make this deep run from like his own midfield stripe all the way, into the final third and get that ball over the top. So I was like, I'm curious to see, because the U.S. is building out right now and Musa is staying central again. But I'm curious to see if this is something that's going to continue because it looked very pointed in a very obvious way for the U.S. to try to play over the top right out of that hydration break.
Solid breakdown, Matt Doyle.
I'm just having fun, Suze.
Listen, I know you are. I can see it. You're actually like Doyle. I've never seen him smile this much. This is what a treat. What a treat. And speaking of treats, we have a very special guest that we are about to bring on into our little watch along right now. We are so thrilled to welcome in Mehdi Ballouchy, former MLSer. He featured for 6 different clubs. He's now on the coaching staff for NYCFC. Also born in Morocco. So just could not think of a more perfect guest for this. Mehdi, thanks so much for joining us. How you doing?
Thank you for having me. Yeah, things are good. Yeah.
Good?
Mehdi.
Good?
How are you guys,
boss?
doing?
Good.
Okay, Mehdi, what are your thoughts on the match so far? If you could speak specifically to Morocco, what are you seeing from this team right now?
I think the one surprising thing that I felt they've switched up since the African Nations Cup or the qualifiers is they're trying to play a lot more. They were pretty direct in the African Nations Cup. They try to skip lines, and maybe it's the competition, maybe it's it's the pitches, maybe it's different things, but it looked like they're trying to play out of the back every single time. In fact, the first 15, they've turned the ball over a decent amount of time. And I think I was curious to see what they're going to do in the World Cup and how they're going to look down the line.
Great goal. Oh, shit. Sorry.
Not again.
My fault. Not again. Mehdi, my fault, man. My fault. I didn't mean
Timothy, where?
I guess I'll just keep speaking because you.
I got hyped for a minute.
Incredible. Okay. Just saw it. It was a tremendous goal. Oh my Lord. Mercy.
Weah he's making an impression. I'll tell you that right now.
But the keeper can do better on that.
I would say so. I mean, he usually does.
It's right at him.
Yeah.
Hey, he was the goalkeeper of La Liga.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So this ain't no bum.
Yeah.
Fatigue, I guess.
We were thinking it was the Cincinnati nightlife.
You guys, Cincinnati is low key a fun city.
Low key being the operative phrase right there.
It's not, it's not obvious, but it's. I have had some good nights in Cincy.
Mehdi,
saying. You're also very close to Tennessee, which has great bourbon. And
she said bourbon. I thought you were about to say barbecue. She said bourbon.
Bourbon. No, I went there. Come on now.
Mehdi,
Come on now.
What you mentioned that Morocco's playing a little bit more, trying to build a little bit more. As a fan of the team, is that what you want to see from them in this game, or would you rather see them just solidify that the way they have been playing, especially because in that group, I don't know that having the ball a lot is actually going to be an advantage.
Well, I think that's the reason for 5 in the back, right? So out of possession, it's a 5 back line. I think what the fans and Moroccan fans in general look to is what they want to play, because reality is we don't have the strikers, the pace up front, the direct play. We have technical players that want to play in between the lines, and I think if you just keep skipping them, I'm not sure that sets the team for the best outcome. Now the issue is you haven't done it for so long, and then you jump in 5-6 months right before the World Cup, and now maybe with 2 windows try to flip the whole style of play. And I'm curious to see whether it's gonna work or not. Now this is the first game they're trying it, and obviously it hasn't worked well. Yeah, there's some good moments, but I don't know.
Do you see Ziyech coming into the team before the World Cup? As
a Moroccan fan, I'd love to. I think as a manager, you want to have your best players on the field, and it's been a saga, the last year and a half with him. Obviously felt betrayed. Beasley, you can talk about the Moroccans growing up in Holland. I'm sure you played with them. And how they feel, kind of in between the two countries. And he ended up, not going for the Dutch national team to play for Morocco. But when he had an issue with the coach, the federation didn't play the middleman, and now it's become a bigger thing than what it really should be.
So do you think, in your opinion, do you think he goes to the World Cup, or you think it's too much of,
I don't know. I hope so. I don't know. Yeah, I hope so.
Mazraoui as well, right?
Mazraoui's back. So Mazraoui's back. He's injured.
Okay.
I'm not sure what he'll fit in. He's played a lot of right back for Ajax. Obviously, he can play in the midfield. With both of them, Hakimi and him, I'm not sure who's going to end up where. I think he'll probably end up in the middle, because I think, as you see now, they're kind of playing with 2 10s, and I'm not sure you can do that, as you said, in the World Cup, playing better competition. Not better competition, but real competition.
Yeah. I mean, this is a friendly. Like it still feels like a friendly. I know the guys are out there trying to earn their spots and everything.
Technically, it is better competition.
I tell you, right, that's not what I meant at all. It's more like non-friendly. Thank you.
No, technically, you're right. But,
trying to get me kicked out of the country or what?
What's your impression of Canada? Because for those on the stream who you don't know, Morocco's in the group with Croatia, Belgium, and Canada. And Canada's a scary, scary underdog right now.
I think it'll be a really, really tough game for Morocco. I think the 2 things I was worried about in the game is for Morocco is the pacing behind and the press. And I think if Canada brings the energy, the intensity in the games, and I'm not sure Morocco could handle that type of game. If that ends up the game, they're going to want to slow. They're going to want to keep the ball playing between the lines, kind of play at their pace. And Canada's going to want to speed it up and play on the front foot and press. And I think whoever...
And that front 3 is dangerous.
It is.
Oh, God,
it is. Yeah. And I think
Mehdi, what do you think the overall expectations are for Morocco in Qatar? I mean, because that is a tough group. Like, what will be considered a success for them?
I think moving on to the next round, they'll be national heroes,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's an expectation. Yeah. I think it's more just a good showing. And I think getting to the next round will be, as I said, they'll be national heroes overnight.
It's where heroes are made. The World Cup, baby.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Stranger things have happened.
Yeah, like Bees beating Portugal 0-2.
Why was that strange though?
Because no one expected that. Yeah. Coming off a 98. Are you crazy?
Oh, God. So good. So, Mehdi, you are currently part of the coaching staff of NYCFC, who, after a slow start to the MLS season, have kind of reestablished themselves firmly as one of the best teams in the league. Obviously, defending champions. What's the vibe like? What are the vibes like with NYCFC right now?
Right now, it's really good. I think
Yeah.
we're finished before the break has been amazing. I think everyone is enjoying, a week off now.
Mhm.
Came at a good time. I think with the early struggles, obviously, being in different competitions and
For sure.
and
That travel schedule was
travel schedule's
absolutely
been
insane.
crazy.
Yeah.
And also the off season was about a month.
Short.
max. yeah, it was short. Especially
You
when
got
have
that
a
ring
baby.
on? Did you get that championship ring already?
Not yet.
What?
Okay.
We're waiting for it. I think it's close. But
Oh,
it's coming.
man.
I got the key to the
Come
city. I'm not sure
New
what's
York
better.
City gotta.
We need some bling.
New York City, come on,
Mehdi,
man.
Mehdi, I want to ask you about Sean Johnson, who got the call up. We've got Zach Steffen, who's dealing with some family stuff right now. So we've got Matt Turner in goal, but Sean Johnson, I feel like low-key is just having an outstanding season. I think NYCFC have 6 consecutive shutouts in their last few matches. He's been so good. We saw his quality in MLS Cup in the final last year. I mean, how are you feeling about his chances to potentially make a World Cup roster?
I mean, I really, really want that for him. He's been class in the playoffs. Obviously, we wouldn't win the championship without him. The amount of times he's saved the team, penalties, finals, I mean, he's been just class. And then if you go back to last week and the performance he's put up, I don't know what the number is, but how many saves. We were under it for a long time, and he came out big 4 or 5 times to keep us in the game, to get the 3 points away. So I think the way he goes about his business, the way he trains, the way he's focused, I think he really cares about the national team. I think he trains and he looks forward to going. He wants to be part of it. And, as far as I'm concerned, he deserves to be there. I think the role he plays, not only on the field, off the field, the respect he's got around the group, and not only the U.S., but also at New York City FC. I mean, he's our captain, and he's got a big voice and role that he plays. And I think he can do both of those roles with the national team.
So, Mehdi, let me ask you this. Because Sean's my guy, and I want you to be serious. So, what's one reason you think he wouldn't make the national team? You wouldn't make this World Cup roster? Just from you as a coach, see him every day. I know him from playing, but you see him every single day. You know how he is, his character, how he plays. What do you think there's one reason why he wouldn't make the national team?
I don't have one, to be honest with you.
You don't have one?
I really don't. And I can't sit here and talk about the ins and outs of the technical things about
right, of course,
yeah.
Yeah.
But what I can tell you, and the things I've said already, is his class on and off of it, and you've been on the team with him. So for me, he can only add on whether he's on the field or not. So I don't know what the feedback is from the national team. I mean, I'm sure you're closer to that than me.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I mean, who do you? I mean, no,
I'm like, wait, is he?
Yeah, I was going to put
What
it
do we got? What do we got?
the group, and I'm going to say, okay, so if we have Turner and Steffen, who's going to be our probably 1 and 2, who's the third? Who do you guys see as being the third keeper going to the World Cup if we stay with 23 and not 26? I mean, you got Ethan, you got Sean. You
got Gaga Slonina slowly coming out of nowhere.
I mean, there's always one surprise. Charlie, there's always one maybe 2 surprises in a World Cup roster. A player that hasn't played in maybe like 2 caps, maybe he just kind of got his groove. So there's always one surprise. Do they make it at the goalkeeper position? Do they make it at a different position? So who's our third?
I don't think they use that at a goalkeeper position.
Who's that? Who's our third? But you look at that, the third position as a goalkeeper, and that's the person that's never going to play.
That's for
Yeah,
vibes.
no, it is exactly.
You
You're
were
right,
part.
Matt's
You were
right.
part of that team in 2002. The story
Yes.
is that Tony Meola was brought as the third keeper because let's just say that Brad Friedel and Casey Keller weren't best of friends. So
Right.
Bruce wanted to have a third keeper who could keep the vibes real good, and that's what Tony's been great at his entire life. So if for a third keeper, you go with the vibes guy, and I don't know if that's Sean or that's Ethan or that's it's probably not the 18-year-old. But if it's me, I would kind of pull the coaching staff and some of the other players.
I'm into it. I'm here for Sean Johnson.
I'm rooting for Sean to get it because it's his last chance, right? Like Ethan probably has one or two more. Gaga probably has 6 more.
All I have to say is Nations League final. That's all I gotta say. And from that standpoint, you could tell
totally fair
how the group vibes with Ethan Horvath, what he means to the group. That was a massive performance from him, and I think that cemented himself in the team, whether he's playing or not at Nottingham Forest. Now they're in the Prem, so who knows? But I think that performance won Greg Berhalter's trust.
Is that all it takes?
Yeah, but still, he's not gonna play. So
no, he's not gonna play. But I think just from that standpoint, that he's the third keeper now. So unless he gets injured,
so even if he doesn't play in the Premier League next season with Nottingham, you're still gonna take him to the World Cup?
I think so. Because guess what? The other 2 keepers aren't playing either.
Yeah, well, I mean, we haven't even got to that conversation yet.
Well, I mean, Sean is playing. He's playing well.
That's what I'm saying. That was gonna be my point.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he is playing.
And he showed up so huge in the MLS Cup final on PKs.
Well, you also know Greg Berhalter doesn't necessarily care if you're playing because he said he'd rather you in a high level training every day, which is what he said about Zach Steffen. He said Zach Steffen is playing in training with Manchester City every day at a super high level. And that is why Matt Turner got his move to Arsenal, because he said that's the only way I'm going to be the one is if I get on the same level as him as far as a club level.
Wow.
So you take he was playing every game for the Revs, goalkeeper of the year, and Zach Steffen wasn't playing, and he was still the number 2. And you throw in national team performances, and he was keeping clean sheets and had like an incredible start to his career. Still number 2. So that should tell you right there, it necessarily doesn't matter for the goalkeeper position in Greg Berhalter's mind if you're playing every week.
Interesting. I did not know that.
That's good intel, Charlie Davies.
Thank you, man. But we both know as a field player, you can't do that no matter who you are. If you're not playing, you're not in form, you can't magically turn it on for a World Cup. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, that's the worst. That's the worst thing as a player, especially towards the end of my career when I moved to defender. If you don't trust your goalkeeper, it's a wrap. It's you know what I'm saying? Like if he's giving up, rebounds and not coming out confident with crosses, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a wrap. Like there's good ball. Oh, you gotta finish that.
Not again. Not again.
Hey, DeMarcus, you gotta finish that.
You guys are way ahead of me.
Good Lord, I know.
There's a great ball from Aronson.
All right, so Mehdi,
and that's Ferrer's golden chance, right? Yeah. So you're in a World Cup.
Here it is. Here it comes.
Here's your golden chance.
Here it comes. Yeah, you got to do better.
You have to.
You got to do better with that. That's
great to be in that position, but you have to finish. Yeah. You have to finish.
It's the same old story. Okay, Mehdi Ballouchy, you are Morocco is going to be playing in Qatar. What tell it. How are you going to be watching these games? Are you going to be getting together with family? What's the viewing situation going to look like as you cheer on Morocco?
I think as of now, just family home. I'll probably have some friends over, and we have a decent amount of people around that will get together, watch the game. If they make it the next round, I'm sure 90% of the people will be there. But we won't be making reservations as of now.
I got a question for you, Mehdi.
Talk to me.
Tati Castellanos.
Yeah.
My man's balling out of control. Talented as they come right now in Major League Soccer, especially for his age. Why are we not seeing clubs coming in with these massive bids? Yet, a player like Daryl Dike is going for 15, Ricardo Pepi 20, and I feel, no disrespect to any of them, that Tati Castellanos is a whole nother level above them in terms of what he can bring to the game. Good on the ball, good vision, great first touch, a finisher, scoring more goals. He's more, I think, prolific in front of goal than those strikers as well. Yet we're hearing like 15 million is the number for him. I'm like, 15 million, that's a bargain for an Argentine young player with a ton of ability. Why aren't there more clubs coming in from her? Why isn't the expectation like 25, 30 million for a player like him?
That's a great question. Do you want to hear what Greg has to say before we chat?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, B's already heard it, so you could probably.
It's actually on mute. I forgot he was on, yo. Yeah, see, now it's off.
Also, shouts to my girl Jill.
Okay,
who's killing it on the sidelines.
Haji Wright coming in, Cameron Carter-Vickers and Scally, I heard, are going to be coming in at half.
How did you get that?
How do you hear that?
Where are you? You got like a direct line?
They give you the cards? They don't give them down to the fourth?
Yeah.
Right.
Greg, what else? Hold on. Greg. Okay,
Good
cool.
grief.
No, back to the Tati thing. I think, to be honest, that's a really good question. I don't have the answer. I think I agree with you in terms of like what he brings. I think that the most impressive thing about him is actually off the ball. Like if you look at the work he does, the amount of pressing, the fight, like he gives so much off the ball. I'm not sure anyone in the league actually works that hard out of possession, and then yet gives you that many goals. I think in terms of scoring, he's improved since he's got to New York. I think is not only now is he good in the air, he can finish with his feet, he can chip, he can go 1v1 and he can do different finishes. Price tag, I have for me, as far as, and I see him every day in training, I see him in the games, I'm really close to like what he does. I can see what kind of person he is. He believes, actually 4 or 5 months ago, he was thinking he can break into the Argentine national team into the World Cup. This is the kind of stuff that he believes.
Right.
So that tells you how much he believes in himself. All you have to do is see him walk around, the field, and the way he touches the ball, the kind of the swag, the confidence he's got on the ball. He has for me, he can play anywhere he wants because of the work rate. I don't know why the numbers are not coming in as high. Is it because he's a little bit older? Like Pepe is what now, 18, 19? Tati's what, 23, pushing a little bit. I don't know. How old is DK now?
He's 21.
21.
Yeah. I don't have to be honest, that's a really good question. I don't have the answer.
But you guys see that, man, this kid is got it. You got a good one with Tati Castellanos, and he's getting better with each season. Obviously, his confidence, but he is maturing in the way he finishes, the way he works for the team, his runs off the ball. I'm like, am I missing something? Is he not doing something? Because I'm like, every time I watch him play, I'm like, this kid's got it.
How high is his ceiling? I mean, you were 9. Tell me what you think.
I think
in terms of year. Yeah.
I think what he lacks is the pace part, right? So in terms of
he's not so
getting
slow.
him, he's not slow, but I'm saying like real pace. I think he could, like Serie A, being a top striker in Serie A. I think La Liga, where they don't rely so much on the athleticism like an English Premier League, unless you're with a top club that's getting you chances and you're not defending the whole game.
I think the other piece that he brings
having a lot of success.
Like you can see, there are 9s in the Premier League that are not so pacey, but they're really good, like hold up 9s, and he can do that as well. This is the interesting piece about him is he can kind of do both. He's not, I agree, he's not the pacey, I don't know, Aubameyang, right? But he's also he can also hold the ball a lot better. I don't know about Aubameyang, but like I can see him kind of playing. It just depends what the team needs. Like I think what he gives us is massive, because we are a team that try to play out of the back, for example. And when teams press us really high, we can also skip lines, and when teams drop off of us, he can come and link. So he can do both in my eyes. But I agree. Maybe I don't know how they see him, and I don't know what type of team will go for him.
Mehdi, we've got agent. Chuck. Love this. You could. This could be an opening for you. Just like you keep venturing in all these different career paths. Why not?
Yeah.
Make some coin.
Another one.
Make some coin. Mehdi, we've got a question in the chat from Greg. Love you, Greg. This guy is just asking great ones. He says, where does Tati rank among the most talented players that you've played with or coached?
Well, I played with one of the best nines, David Villa, right? So David I think
he's up there.
I think the David was, to me, was just a different class. I think Tati is probably 3, David, Henri, and Tati.
Oof.
I guess you play with some decent guys.
That's good company.
I actually didn't get to play with more training. There was a lot of training sessions.
That's all right.
The fact that you've seen them day in and day out might be even better. So.
Right.
My goodness. My goodness. All right. Well, gents, it is halftime. The U.S. have a 2-0 lead over Morocco. I think we have, producer Anders is saying that we have the goals teed up so we can take a look at the goals. So let's see if we can pull these up. Okay, here we go. Oh, this is that first goal. Incredible long ball from Walker Zimmerman and Christian Pulisic, just magical touch, and Brendan Aronson with the finish. I mean, this was pretty, DeMarcus.
It was a pretty touch. Like I said before, I don't think people understand how hard that is to do. Bringing the ball down like that, right in front of them, a defender on them. That's tough to do. But hats off to Anderson as well, making the run. Charlie mentioned
nice little run.
Yeah, that's one of his strengths. That he, Matt said it as well. North and south. To get in the box, maybe that third or fourth guy in the box to get those goals. So hats off to them. Great goal, great team goal.
Yeah, this got
the distribution too from Zimmerman.
You love to see it, and this one from Timothy Weah, just a rocket. We'd love to see it. Now, was this as good as it looked? Yeah. Okay. Are we going to throw the keeper under the bus here? Is that what we're doing on this one?
Threw himself under the bus. Come on.
Wow.
That's why you hit it, right? Because even a great keeper can make mistakes. This guy, he's a great keeper. He's one of the best keepers in La Liga last year. He does not, he makes the save 99 times out of 100. This just happened to be the 100th time, but I like when Tim Weah is aggressive. I like when he's feeling it and is just like, all right, you know what? They're giving me space. I'm going to have a hit. Because even if he does save that, maybe he pushes the rebound out where, Pulisic or Ferreira is crashing the post and can get on it. The other thing that I like about this is like it came out of a good prolonged buildup for the U.S., where they went from left to right, back to front, and they strung Morocco out. And when you do that and you're in a rhythm, okay, tag it.
All right. Well, I believe Greg Berhalter said in the halftime interview he's going to be making some substitutions. Who are we hoping comes on? Who do we want to see? Matt Doyle.
Well, shit, Charlie already knows.
Charlie. Yeah, no, Charlie. Who'd you say? Yeah,
Haji Wright coming on.
Haji.
For
who? Yeah.
For Ferreira.
Okay.
Ferreira's coming off. Haji Wright's coming on. Then Joe Scally's coming on. Cannon's coming off. And Tillman's coming on. Oh, Cameron Carter-Vickers.
Look at him. He's literally on his phone right now. Like getting direct.
I have notes. I write all these notes down.
I don't believe you for a second.
What is
Who are you texting? Who are you texting?
All my notes that I take.
Direct line.
Berhalter said it's going to be 3 changes, right? He said it's going to be Scally, Carter-Vickers, and Haji Wright. So yeah, I'm interested in seeing all 3 of these guys because all 3 of these guys are like all 3 of them could end up making the roster for Qatar.
Like, how do you approach that if you're one of these guys? Like, what's the pressure level? Or you're just trying to maintain this mentality of like, oh no, like I'm just, play my game, do my thing. But like, this is a moment. Like Greg Berhalter has literally said, like, these are big tests for us. These matches. So how do you meet the moment? DeMarcus, how do you meet it?
Bees literally did this, right? You won your roster spot in
2010.
So tell us about that.
That's what it was. I mean, and a little bit in 2002 as well. Let's be honest. I think more so in 2002, and I say that because I was more experienced in 2010, so it was a bit different. But yeah, that's what it is. You get your shot, and you put that pressure on yourself that you have to perform.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I it was, and I always come back to this, is that I really had a good, veteran kind of leadership to help me, through those. That helped me a lot, when I had, Reina and especially Kobe Jones and Ernie. They talked to me a lot. I was the youngest on the team at the time, and just telling me to calm down, just play my game, play how I play in training. That gave me confidence that they saw that I could, be at their level even at 18 years old, So I think for me, that calmed me down. So that always helped me when I got on the field. And after that, we've all been there. When you're young, you don't have any. You just go out there and play. After you kick the ball and the whistle blows, it's just a game. You do what you feel, and the game comes to you. So, and that's what 2002 felt like for me.
Man, that's intense. Mehdi, as a coach, what are you saying to a young kid who's about to come on? This is a big opportunity for him. What's the advice that you would give him?
I'm rooting for Joe Scally, right? So I think you just go have fun. I don't think you can overthink things. I think, yes, of course you want to perform, but the more you think about let's perform, the more you psych yourself out of the game. So of course you want to be competitive, but I think, like Beasley said, just go enjoy, have fun. But of course the game is the game.
What do you like about Scally and his game?
He's really aggressive. So I think he's also doesn't care who he played against when he was a kid. So we had him, in academy, 16, 17, 18. So he, whether he was playing against Mitrita or whatever, what DP we had, he would go and just, play 1v1. He didn't care. He didn't give him he wasn't shook by the okay. He just kind of played his game. It was the same game for him, whether it was a U16 game or a first team game. And in training, he gave everything. He was always, wanted to improve, wanted to get better, worked really hard, improved technically. And then I watched him in the Bundesliga, and it was impressive how quickly when someone gets first team minutes, how much they, how fast they can get better. So I'm looking forward to seeing him in the game.
We love that. Love that. Great advice. Thank you, Coach. This is how do you feel, guys, overall about just how the U.S. kind of came out in that first half? I know a 2-goal lead is we'll take it at this point, but where do you want to see some improvement, some adjustments, some changes? What do you think, Charlie?
I was never concerned with the results in these games.
Yeah.
They are friendlies, and you expect the U.S., especially these players, to come out and try and claim their spots. And for me, it was more about seeing Haji Wright. Yes, he's balling in Turkey, but I want to see what he looks like with this group. Obviously, he has experience with a lot of these players on the youth national team. That's great. They know what his skill sets are. They know what his strengths are, where he's good, and how they could help him succeed. Really curious to see Malik Tillman. I mean, Tillman comes in with this high, credibility from not only the German youth national teams, but Bayern Munich. So what does that look like now with this group? And Cameron Carter-Vickers, obviously, Bees knows this very well, had so much success at Celtic this year. Played was one of the rocks for the back line. Now that league is very different. It's not the most technical league. It's a league that you got to be super physical and tough, and it's all about communication. And the pressure is huge at Celtic, and just like it is at Rangers. So he was able to deliver. So I think this is the next logical step to see what he looks like. He earned that chance, so I want to see what that looks like. And then Scally, like many talked about, he's worked really hard. He's got an opportunity, and he's grown with each instance of getting, you know, the top quality competition. So now with an up and down season in Europe, and I think you really learn a lot from that first year, what worked, what didn't work, expectations. Now with this Greg Berhalter system, how does he fit in?
Good
I
questions.
mean, with Charlie, I'm still tripping. You said that Musa can't start with his national team.
Who said this?
Your boy, what is he on your right or your left?
I didn't say he can't
right or your
start.
left?
I never said he can't
You said
start.
you said no.
I said
right now he's not starting.
I said he's
So
one of
all
my
that-
favorite
Charlie, I was
players.
with you all along, man.
Yeah, all the shit you just said, great, but no.
This is
Like,
this is
when
what
you told-
this
when
is
you
what I
said-
you speak about
when you
No.
said that Musa
Don't be twisting my
is
words.
not going to start with the now, I'm like, okay, I'm done.
All right, tell me this. Tell me this though.
Wait,
Okay.
what did the
Tyler,
dude in Twitch say? Wild comments or wild? What did he say?
Wild
That was
takes.
like wild
wild
takes.
takes.
Yeah.
All
Come
right,
on,
listen. This is my point. All right, Tyler Adams and Weston McKennie are starting no matter what, unless they're
Okay.
injured. They're
Right.
the starters. The other midfielder, if Gio Reyna is healthy, fully healthy, and he's playing at Dortmund every game, if Tillman is the real deal and he's supposed to be more of a number 10, so someone who can really get underneath the striker and connect. Musa's not that player. Musa is amazing, but he's not going to get you goals. He's not going to, from so far, he's not going to create goals for you with assists. So midfielder has got to be a little bit more dynamic in the attacking phase of play. And I don't know if, not to say that Musa can't do it, but right now he's not doing it. And that was the evidence in World Cup qualifying. That was my point. So if you needed to make one change in the midfield, he would be that guy.
All right,
All right.
cool.
All right.
All
right.
That's all. That's
you
all. I
stated, no,
said.
you stated your argument. I respect it.
Right.
Cool. I don't agree
Right.
with it, but I mean it's cool.
Love it. Oh man. Well, Mehdi, we're gonna let you go, but before we do, the second half just started. Before we do, I just want to get your prediction for how you think Morocco will do in Qatar this winter. What do you think? Will they emerge from
Yes,
Group F?
I have to say yes.
Love
Yes.
it. Love that
Yes.
optimism.
Yes.
Yes, let's go. I am here for it. Amazing.
Wait,
Mehdi.
who do you say gonna get out of the group?
Morocco, what up?
Wait,
What
who's
up?
up? Hey, Charlie, who's
now,
up the midfield?
now who's
Musa?
having wild takes? now who's having wild takes?
So who you got? You got Belgium and Croatia.
Okay.
Belgium and Croatia
Yes.
getting eliminated. European teams can't play in that heat.
Let's go.
I'm-
Yeah.
Canada and Morocco
Canada,
going through.
I'm
Morocco,
going-
all the way.
I say Belgium, and Canada get through.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Listen, it's a long shot for Morocco. This is the reality. But I have to say they have to.
You
So,
have
listen.
to. Yes. No, we need that.
It's like, hey, Charlie, it's like you sitting here saying the U.S. is not going to make it. You can't make it home.
True.
It ain't
Very
the same.
true.
I got little kids, you know.
anything can happen. Mehdi Ballouchy, thank you so very much for
Thank you guys so
for
much for
stopping
having
in and joining us. It was great to see you. Best of luck the rest of the season. And hey, go Morocco.
Thank
Not
you.
tonight,
Thank you guys for
but
having me.
later.
All right, this has been fun. Take care.
Appreciate it, man.
See you guys.
Cheers, Mehdi.
Much
Nice.
love, Mehdi.
Take care. See you guys. Bye.
What a ledge.
Worth
Second
noting,
half
Scally
underway. We got
Sorry, Zig.
Scally watch.
he came in at left back, so he came in as a direct replacement for Anthony Robinson, and Aaron Long's still out there. Cameron Carter-Vickers came in for Walker Zimmerman.
Mhm.
So this is interesting from Greg Berhalter to take out two guys who I think are written in pen starters
Yeah.
in order to
Yes.
see how guys who
Of course, yeah.
are contending for backup can deal with them.
Do you agree with that approach?
Yeah.
At this point, yeah. It's
Yeah.
kind of like, why not,
Yeah,
right?
you have to. Yeah, for sure.
I'm interested in this this goalkeeper conversation that we were having because obviously we've got Matt Turner in goal. And Charlie, talking about what Greg Berhalter is actually kind of looking at and how what he's using to sort of assess the starting position. And it's that regular training with these super high profile teams. Come.
Oh, great ball.
This is
Great ball.
amazing.
How
What
did
a
not
build
hit
up
that?
Wait,
this is.
how am I? Where am I?
Oh,
What the heck?
Yeah, Matt
This is
Turner
incredible.
playing with his feet like he's Pirlo in the back there.
How am I so far behind?
I got to admit, Suze, I'm watching on TV. I told you I just paid for FiOS, man. I'm gonna watch it live.
This is wild. Yeah, this is. Oh my gosh. I cut the cord,
Right, almost. What an introduction.
Right? It
and
would have
I'm
been.
regretting it.
But to go back on your conversation, Suze, Matt Turner, his weakness is playing out of the back with his feet.
Yes.
And he
Yes.
showed right there, I'm going to work on it and I'm going to be able, I can do it. And he started that attack. Now, the thing with Zach Steffen is he made a lot of strides playing with his feet, but obviously mistakes can still happen,
The
as we
shot
saw with him
stopping.
at City.
Yeah.
But Turner said, when I play with the U.S., he just came out saying this, that I was working with my feet every day. And when I got back to the Revs, that was not the quality. We weren't doing that. So I wasn't playing with my feet. We weren't building out of the back. And it almost felt like I had to restart when I came back with the U.S. Now going to Arsenal, I don't have to worry about that. I'm always going to be playing with my feet. I'm always going to be pushed, which will put me where I need to be the one with the national team, essentially, is what he said. So I think that's what you get. So it's not only you're playing against top of competition, you're facing those shots, but you're also getting pushed as a goalkeeper. You're getting better because you're forced to use your feet. And that's exactly how Greg wants to play.
Okay. So who, at this moment, right now, this exact moment, who do you feel most confident having in goal?
Oof. Man. That's tough.
Yeah. I feel like it's not like a super clear answer.
I mean, for me, I would say Turner.
I would go with Turner simply because
and I say that because I think right now, what you just mentioned, that he's a better shot stopper. I think when Steffen was getting games and he was playing regularly, yes, I think he was, obviously the top goalkeeper in the U.S. But now he hasn't been playing. Turner's been well, but he's not good at his feet. But if the goalkeeper saves and he can't play out the back as much, I'm cool with that. So I would go with Turner now at this moment. That's what I would say.
That's a good question for the chat. Hey, kids, who do you want in goal right now at this moment? Who makes you feel safer? Let us know.
I think everyone knows. I think the majority of people will say Matt Turner, based on his form with the Revs and with the national team. But I would also say that he's shown that he's prone to mistakes too. That the away game against Panama where they lost 1-0, I think that was one of those games that you're like, oh, he's human too, and he makes mistakes, so he's capable. So it's not both keepers can make mistakes. I think the only way Zach Steffen at this point, the one, is if he makes a loan move and he's playing consistently. Because Matt Turner is going to go to Arsenal and he's going to be the backup. He's not going to play unless he gets a loan. And I don't think he'll take a loan right off the bat. You're going to settle in, see if you can, compete against Aaron Ramsdale, and then hopefully I know you don't want to ever pray for an injury, but if there's an injury or a suspension or some sort of something, a moment he can get in, then that would be Turner's only way to really claim the one spot at Arsenal.
I like that. Do you know what else I love? I love that Stephen Fry is getting some love in the in the chat right now.
Sounders fans are everywhere.
Let's go. Yeah. P.S.
That's all Anders.
I was going to say,
Anders.
it's Anders.
Ghost
it's all Anders. Producer Anders is a little bit of a Seattle Sounders homer for those not in the know. So it's entirely possible that these are from his burner account. But I love me some Steph Fry.
Carter Vickers completely lost track.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Yeah.
Completely lost track. And that was the knock on him when he was a youth player. And well, I mean, I know he had a good year in Celtic, so hopefully he can discover that. The other thing, Beast, we've seen it, I think, 5 times now. That big right to left switch is undressing the U.S. every single time.
Every time. Every time.
Okay, so here's a question for you guys. Let's say Haji just like turns it on right now, ends up putting away like 2 goals. Like, what does that do for the conversation at number 9?
It does a lot.
Like,
it does a lot.
Does it?
Yeah, it does. Absolutely. Like, because we said, Jesus Ferreira, for as good as he's done as of late, he's in the form of his life. He's not any closer to really cementing the 9 spot. Whereas Ricardo Pepi came in, it was like, oh, it's his to lose until he wasn't playing anymore, and then he completely went out of form.
Yeah.
I think if Haji Wright scores, especially 2 goals to finish this game, that's the conversation is, oh man, Haji Wright's a real option. And now he's moving up the depth chart.
Sure, even 1. We don't even need 2.
Yeah.
Just one?
Just 1.
Just one. Just put him in the conversation.
Yeah, put him. I mean, just 1. If he scores 1 tonight, he'll be in the conversation.
He came close.
Yeah, he had a good chance.
Like Jesus, they both had their chances.
Yeah, they both had great chances.
Man.
My guy Jeremy Abobasi finishes that.
Oh, Jay, I love him. I love him. I really do. Really
I do feel
crazy. You are crazy. You think Musa cannot? Oh my god! Have you seen?
He's so good. He's so good.
Charlie, what do you? Man, I don't see it, brother. I love Gio, but nah, man.
Yeah. Oh, Haji. Okay, I like that too.
Musa has to start for me.
Yep,
he has to start for me.
So then I ask you this question: if Aronson is playing at Leeds in the 10 role and killing it, does Musa play over him?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
They're different players. They do different things.
Players.
Because
you said it yourself. It's the Nagby thing, right? Like he's just so good at getting the ball out of tight spaces and getting it upfield to the attackers. And like Aronson doesn't do that.
No,
and if he's killing it in a 10 role, then it's Tim Weah or Gio Reyna or even Christian who's got to look out for their job, right?
Facts.
That said, I mean, if Greg wants to go to like a 4-2-3-1, have a different club in the bag, then you could, maybe drop Weston beside, next to Tyler. You could take Musa out, like if it's tactically it's the right thing to do, and put a real 10 in there. But like these are good problems, right? These are these are the problems you want to have where you have too many good players rather than, oh man, how are we going to fill these gaps?
Yeah. Well, we've got this tweet up from Empathetic. It says it's crazy that we're talking about having guys like Musa, Aronson, Reyna, at least 2 of those 3 as subs for the U.S. men's national team.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy.
It's wonderful.
Yeah,
so good.
These are good problems. We'll take it.
I wish we had those problems at the 9 position.
Oh, you guys. Okay, so no, here's a question. Let's say, however 5 months from now, we're still within the exact same position that we are in terms of the number 9. Like no one has really run away with it, has grabbed it and said, this is mine. Like, is there a possibility that we see Greg call up like a Jazzy Zardes or somebody like,
no.
DeMarcus talking about like those surprises, like, somebody come on.
Yeah, but not that kind of surprise. Not that kind of surprise.
Like right now we have there's 2 young Americans are atop the Golden Boot race. Right? Like that's not a bad place to be in.
Brandon Vasquez and Jesus Ferreira.
Abobasi and Jesus.
Abobasi.
Yeah, Vasquez is 2 goals behind.
Okay.
Then there's like Jordy Pifak just won a Golden Boot. Yeah, like we said, Pepe's coming back, DK's coming back. So like if we're in this same spot, it means that we've had a bunch of guys have really good seasons with their clubs.
Okay.
And I will be happy with that. And at that point, you just have to trust the coach and the guys around them to figure out how to make it all work. But because with Jazzy, it was like he was scoring 13 goals a season, and that made him the number one choice. Well, now we have guys at 13 goals, well, almost 13 goals in half a season's worth of minutes. Yeah. So it's like it's just a different type of scenario than it was 2 years ago, and it's a better scenario, even though nobody has come out and really made themselves the undisputed first choice number 9.
Mm-hmm. Charlie, how does that happen? Like, as a striker, like how do you just grab a hold of that situation and say, I'm going to be the guy, like I'm going to put the ball in the back of the net?
Well, it starts with your club form.
Yeah.
Because you have to be playing with that confidence. And when you're in great club form, you feel like everything you touch, it turns to gold. Every time I hit the ball, I felt like it was going to hit the back of the net. So then I had a number of national team opportunities that I feel like I let squander because I was thinking too much about what does Bob Bradley want and where do the players want. And I was trying to win the trust of Bees, and I was trying to win the trust of Landon and Dempsey. I wanted them to know I was a good player. And so I was putting a lot of pressure on myself to always have the perfect touch or to find them in the right places. At one point, it was the Confederations Cup where it all clicked for me, where I said, you know what? I got my first start, and it was the last game. No expectations to get out of the group. No expectations to do anything, just to play well. And I said, I'm just going to come in here and I'm just do me. And when I came in, I said, I'm going to play my game and make my runs. And if they find me, they find me. If they don't, they don't. I get opportunities. I'm going to run that through one-on-one. And everything worked. And it felt like as the game went on, people started to look for me more often because I was beating my players on the dribble. And when you're having success in the field, players are more apt to look for you and to try and play to you and play to you in space. And so that's when the coaches realize and the players realize, what you can do and what you're capable of and your skill set. And so I think for these guys, it's the same thing. You get enough opportunities and you just, oh, come on, what's this?
Penalty.
No.
They gave it to him. They gave it to Christian. That was a foul. Looked like a foul.
Yeah, it was a good dive too.
Yeah.
It was both, right? He was fouled, and then that's what you're supposed to do. Yeah. The U.S. have played really well. I came here to have fun. I'm having a lot of fun. Yes. I would like for one of the number 9s to score a goal. That would make it more fun. But this has been really good, even without that. And one thing to note, Mehdi, when he was on, was talking about Joe Scally's fearlessness. Like the first thing he did when he came on, he stood Hakimi up, and he stood him up again. Did that twice in a row. It's like, okay. Like this is, he's going against arguably the best fullback in the entire world. So to see a young guy come in at a position of need and do that, even though it's a friendly, that's fun. That's really good.
I like the runs that Haji's making though. I see the runs. I see the way he's thinking, the way he's trying to play that position. He's playing with a certain confidence. I like that. I like that a lot.
Now we're going to see how tight he and Christian really are because, if Christian wants him on the team, you let him take the penalty.
Right.
That's right. That's right.
I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't think it's going to happen like that.
Wouldn't that be something though? Dang.
He's trying to catch Clinton Landon. He's not giving up that PK ball.
Oh God. So, guys, if you had to pick right now, who would be your man of the match for the U.S.?
Musa.
Charlie.
Charlie's face. No, I'm kidding. I mean, I think Turner's had a good game. He's made some good saves. I think Aaronson's been good. With his runs, Weah's been okay. But if you want to pick him, I would probably go with Brendan at the moment.
Haji, what?
Yeah, he is taking it.
Oh, that is beautiful.
Look at that. That's friendship right there.
Golazo!
Oh, thank you, Bees.
I'm still in front. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Like he hasn't even run up to the ball yet.
He hasn't read it. Oh,
All right, now he just kicked it.
yo,
Ooh.
the ball's already at the center circle on my screen.
Okay, so DeMarcus, he has now scored.
He's in the conversation.
Is he like? Is that
Yes.
enough?
Yes, that right now the way.
Yes, he's in the conversation.
Yes, he is 100% in the conversation.
Okay.
Right there with one
Okay.
goal. Even though it was a PK, he has to put it away. He did it. Hopefully, he'll get another chance to score.
How was that PK? How do we rate it?
It was low.
I give it an 8.5.
Yeah, I was gonna say about an 8. Yeah, it was low. It wasn't hit with a lot of pace, but hey, went in.
Listen, yeah, exactly.
Bunu guessed the right way, and so that's why I give him the 0.5, because if the keeper guessed the right way, had a good jump, and still didn't get a finger on it, you hit it well.
Oh, you're making some subs. I can't see the numbers though.
Okay, producer Anders just pointed something out too. He pointed right at Pulisic after he scored that. So
Ran out and hugged him.
guys,
You're getting your wish, Charlie. Oh, boy's coming
synergy.
in. How you say his name? Is it Malik or Malik?
They keep saying Malik. Yeah.
Malik.
Malik?
He's coming in.
Yeah.
But did you already know that, Charlie? Do you have your sources? Got your phone out?
Yeah, you texting somebody.
Coming in fast and furious. I know you are. I know your tricks.
And De La Torre. I like him. He's a good
Oh
player.
yeah.
I do too.
I
Luka.
like him.
All
How old is Tillman?
right.
19.
19?
Yeah. Yep. I think it turns
Doyle,
20
do you
this year.
just know this? Do you just like have this all stored in your brain, like the ages and my God.
Man, what a time to be a national team player. Goodness gracious. If you 17 or 18, you got a chance on that. You got a chance on the national team. Man, 19.
Weren't you 19 in 2002?
No.
You were
Yeah,
19.
but I'm
when
saying,
you-
What are you-
well,
what are you
when we
talking
were
about?
2, the whole team is 19 and 20.
That's true. That's true.
We were
Yeah,
2
but you,
players.
which is harder, which is harder what you did,
We were
because
2
that was
players.
a rarity.
That's
And-
what I'm
and
saying.
You weren't playing in you weren't
Bees-
playing in no friendly. You were
But
playing in
these
the World
who
Cup. You
so
kinda-
like who's the veteran presence then on this team? Like, like who is that kind of like that leader in the locker room? Because I feel like you need that. Like
Yeah, I
we
mean,
love
I think-
all the we love it, but you
Yeah.
need someone
Christian
that
is.
is it Christian?
I mean, Christian. Obviously, I think he's growing into a more of a leadership role because of who he has around him now. But obviously, when he was with us, or towards the end of the national team career, and he was just kind of starting. He was quiet, as he should be. He would just worry about playing, didn't really talk much. He hung around with some of the other younger players that were in camp, and he kept to himself a lot. But I'm sure now he's probably a little bit more vocal. I would probably look to Yedlin. I think
Okay.
even from his I heard his speech before that last game before they qualified. I've never seen that from DeAndre in that I played with DeAndre. So that was good to see him maybe take that leadership role. I think that's probably it. I mean, I know Tyler is a captain, and I know he's pretty vocal, but I would look to Yedlin for sure.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
I mean, I think Yedlin goes regardless. If he might not play a game in the World Cup, but I think he goes just because he's going to be a good locker room player, teammate. If you need him to start, for Sergiño Dest, or he gets injured or something like that, I think he's a decent option to come in and play. So I think he goes regardless.
So it looks like we're going to get Musa playing at defensive midfield for the final 25 minutes of this game, which is interesting. Though I got to tell you, the game's kind of gone.
Yeah,
Morocco kind of packed it in after that third goal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Whew.
Good tackle. Good recovery.
How have you guys felt about I know they subbed off Zimmerman, but how have you felt about Aaron Aaron Long and his performance?
Other than the yellow card, he's been good. The one thing that he struggled with, I think, was, he's right-footed playing left center back, so he was able to like play into the sort of the depth of the field pretty well, but he couldn't turn to his left and sort of release Anthony Robinson up the left side. So I actually thought he struggled with that a little bit, but other than that, he didn't really put a foot wrong. He won the header that led to the sequence on the Weah goal, I believe. So he also won the header that led to the Ferreira shot in the first half. So like he's checking all the boxes that you expect him to check in terms of what he's good at, and he's checking all the boxes and stuff that, like, we know who Aaron Long is, right? He's not gonna look like Tim Ream out there picking passes with a cultured left foot. It's just not part of his game. So I'm okay with that. I don't want any surprises from my center backs. At the same time, it does make me wish Chris Richards was healthy. Like I want to see Chris, because Chris Richards has the ability to hit those passes, and he can do the defensive stuff. I think that Aaron Long has shown he could still do.
Yeah, I'm feeling like overall this game has gone pretty much exactly how they would have wanted it to. They've got a nice lead now. They're able to try out some of the guys, get some looks at some guys that Greg Berhalter wanted to see. It just seems like this is kind of played out exactly how he would have wanted it to. What do you think, DeMarcus?
I do. I think so. I think he had, an idea of who he's going to, sub in at 45 minutes. Usually you get those conversations. Okay, today you're going to play 45 minutes because I want to, whatever. But yeah, it's went, right now perfectly to plan. There's no injuries, knock on wood. He's getting a look with decent minutes at guys that he hasn't seen in a while. The number 9 scored a goal. That's very enlightening. And
that's a dub. That's a dub right there.
So, I think as of right now, the 72nd minute on the hydration break, it's been good. I think it's been good. But at the same time, I do, I gotta throw out the card with Doyle. The game's over with Morocco. They're not putting up much of a fight, and we understand that, we get that. But like I said, I think in the beginning, I agree with and I understand why Berhalter said this game means something, and it does. These players are playing to get to a World Cup, to play in a World Cup. You can't take that. You can't play this game like a friendly. Yes, it's a friendly. It doesn't mean much in the scheme of things, but as far as personally and him seeing different formations, it means something. So and it shows. And I think that's why we're up 3-0.
And Weston's about to come on, which is a very good sign.
Oh, you guys. Love Weston.
He was playing the best soccer of his life before this most recent injury. Yeah. He was so good. Hopefully he can find that right away, and hopefully he can stay healthy between now and November. I'll tell you, if everybody was healthy, if everybody was available come November, the first name on my team sheet would be Tyler Adams. The second would be Weston McKennie.
Yeah.
I think he's that valuable. He raises the floor, but he also raises the ceiling for this team.
I say 1A, 1B.
Yeah, that's fair.
I also just think too, like he is, and DeMarcus, I feel like, you've got so much experience on these World Cup rosters. Like a guy like Weston is so important in the locker room too, because he rallies everyone. He's energies.
Yeah, he's this our national team's Frankie Haydock. I'm telling you. That's what he was. Like Frankie was that guy. He whenever the boys were down and we had a bad game, like he would say a joke, or he would turn the music on, or he would get up and dance, reggae and all. Like that was Frankie's personality. You know what I'm saying? He always had something positive to say, to the group, and getting us kind of not thinking about what just happened. So yeah, he's definitely the team Frankie Haydock for sure. And you need someone like that. You're right on target with that. Can't say the same about Charlie. He's a bit grumpy.
Yeah, Charlie's just bad.
Y'all know
vibes
that more
all
than I
the
do. Y'all
time.
work with him, so yeah, you know he's grumpy. So
Bad vibes.
You know,
all
Charlie is
the
never
time.
smiling, never
Yeah.
happy.
Literally,
Charlie's
never.
just grumpy.
What if Tillman banged there?
Yeah. Have you seen him play? Have you guys seen him play like in Munich?
Yeah.
Like yeah. And how is he?
He's talented. He I don't think he's got much dog in him. He doesn't really seem to play with intensity, which is why I think he didn't really break through with Bayern at all.
Mhm.
And then he there's a reason he left the Germany setup, right? He wasn't going to break through with them.
Yeah.
And from it's not from lack of skill.
Just gave away a penalty. Scally.
Yep.
Okay, so do you think next season he breaks into the first team at Bayern?
No. I think if anything, he'll do the Chris Richards thing, try to get a loan out to like a mid-table team, and hopefully he could end up getting minutes there. I was actually more interested in his older brother. His older brother, Tim Tillman, more of a pure central midfielder, more of a two-way player. He played like 2,500 minutes for, a really bad team, Greuther Fürth, in the Bundesliga this year.
Mm-hmm.
But he would be like a solid backup for Musa or McKennie or De La Torre with this group. And I would be fine with that.
Yeah. Oh, you missed.
Thank you, DeMarcus.
Sorry.
Thanks, Beast.
Sorry. I ain't gonna say that no more. I'm gonna just shut my ass.
No, actually, honestly, I would rather know. This is great. Makes me less nervous. I'm like, oof.
That was rough.
I think that's a ball don't lie moment, because that really did look like a dive.
Yeah, it did look like a penalty.
Yep.
Turner's got to catch that.
Ball don't lie.
Game's going off.
Cool. DeMarcus, we've got our guy Greg is just on fire. He said, I know this is an MLS stream, but can we get some Fort Wayne FC chat?
Yeah.
From DeMarcus Beasley.
Yes, sir.
What's going on? Give us the latest. What's happening?
Yeah,
this game might be over.
Yeah, we had a tough match last night. We lost in Cleveland. So right now we're 3-2. We got 9 points. I think we're in second at the moment. But no, we had a decent start, and we have another game away to Dayton this Saturday. So, but no, everything is good. I'm enjoying. The boys. The group is amazing. They work hard.
Yeah.
They really the camaraderie already is fun to be around. They're funny. They're a good group. So I'm excited to work with them.
Who's the most promising player that you have?
Ooh. I would say Tom Abrahamson. Sorry, he's Swedish. He's at FAU. He's a right back, really good player.
Okay.
Him and our number 8-10 Michael. He's at Dayton. Really good player as well. Those two have had very good starts to the season so far. Oh, don't wait.
So looking ahead, guys, to is it Sunday, their next match against Uruguay? I have no idea what day it is, by the way. It's just like everything. It's still like the holiday weekend just like threw me. looking ahead to that game in Kansas City, what do you think? Do you think Greg Berhalter is going to mix things up with his starting 11? What could we be looking at, Doyle? What do you think?
I think it'll be most of the guys that we saw tonight. I think the changes, like maybe this time, Haji Wright gets a start and Jesus Ferreira comes off the bench.
I would like to see that.
You know,
I am here for that.
Yeah. So, maybe instead of Aaron Long getting 90 minutes, maybe Eric Palmer Brown gets 90 minutes, something like that. Reggie Cannon's going the full 90 minutes in this game. I don't think Reggie Cannon's going to go. He might not play at all this weekend. So I think the idea will be to give all these guys who are trying to win a job a chance to play, but also like a chance to play with the core, a chance to play with the guys who have already won the job, so that you can see how they work in combo, how they work together, because it's a team game first and foremost. And so it's not a fair audition if you're just throwing 11 subs out there and saying, okay, boys, get it done. It's better to see how these guys play alongside an Adams, a Pulisic, and McKennie and all of that. So I'm sure it'll be relatively similar with just like a few changes like that. And, we're at the point where it's like, may the best man win. We all want to see the best U.S. team possible this November in Qatar. And like, that means guys in these games got to go out and really show it and get it done.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, there's only how many games they play? 6 before the first match? Yeah, that's not a lot of games. So you have to, as much as you can, and as much as you want to give, guys a chance to play and a good run, not 10 minutes, not 15 minutes. You want to give them at least 45, that are the guys that are, on the bubble. I mean, you need to, be playing your top 11, to get, some rhythm and get some, some gamesmanship in the team. So I agree with Doyle. I think it's going to be somewhat the same. I think. I don't think there'll be very many changes here and there, but not many.
Chuck, what do you know? Have you reached out to your sources? Do we have that?
Yes. Continuity, right? The same tactics. You want to get players in a rhythm with one another, but you also got to give chances. So Haji Wright starting makes 100% sense to me in terms of giving a real look against a quality opponent from minute one. You gave Jesus Ferreira the start in this one. He wasn't able to capitalize on his one golden opportunity. Great. I think it was a great run from him to put himself in that position. But again, in a World Cup, a lot of times you're only getting that one chance.
Yeah.
And you got to finish. So Haji Wright getting started. I'm excited about that. I think Weah continued to solidify himself as a starter on this team. Christian looks like he's focused and ready to go and continue to build off of his World Cup qualifying performances. He's had some ups and downs, but hopefully he can stay a little bit more consistent. And then Weston and Tyler solidified. Musa, I think with this performance today, like you both said, he's one of my favorite players. But and it's similar to Darlington Nagbe, one of my favorite players to watch play. My man's a baller, and with a system when you're keeping possession, you need somebody to get on the ball and take the sting out of it. He can do it, but you also need goals and assists from him. And just like Darlington Nagbe, who was capable of doing it because he's done it so many times, but he wasn't doing it in an aggressive nature every game. It was once in a while. I know Musa can do it, but I think Greg needs to pull that out of him. And that's where in the national team setup, sometimes you can develop a player with the national team. And I think Greg is going to need to pull that out of Musa on the regular to have this team be in the best position to have success. It will get interesting when Gio Reyna gets back and if he gets into form before the World Cup, and if Aaronson's balling.
Man, exactly. And you know what this kind of shows me a little bit is that none of these players showed today that they feel that they're the starter. You know what I'm saying? They all play with something to prove. I mean, they all did. You look at Aaronson. He's not.
Yeah.
We said it in the beginning. He's not a number 10. I'm a huge Anderson fan. I call him Silky. That's my guy. You know,
Silky?
I call him Silky. I wrote him on the.
Wait, I love
slid
that.
Slid his DMs and asked for his
Did you
jersey.
tell him that? Did you?
Of course,
You were like,
of
"Yo,
course.
you're
Yeah, I was
Silky."
like, man, hey, I
How
need
did he
your jersey.
respond? What was his reaction?
He's
Like
"Oh,
Silky
man, of
Johnson
course."
from
He's
the
like, "I got
Player
you,
Haters
bro.
Ball?
I got you. Yeah.
Like
So
if somebody
he
called
sent
me
me a couple
Silky,
jerseys.
the best compliment ever.
You know what I'm saying? So he's my guy.
Bull.
But I'm just saying, like, none of these guys played like they know that they're the starter. You know, they all played with something to prove, and you saw it today. I think with their goals, their movement, you know, how they play with each other, with purpose. I think it was good. I think Berhalter has a real problem on his hands when Gio Reyna gets healthy, because how are you going to fit Musa, Reyna, Weah, Aronson, I'm gonna even throw Christian in there. I know he's a captain, but all those guys there's only 3 spots.
Yeah.
4 spots really. Where are you gonna put them?
But how concerned are you that Gio Reyna just perpetually seems to be injured? I mean, it's just like, to me, that is a
nightmare.
big concern. It's a big concern.
We were saying that about Tyler Adams too, and
That's true.
he's
Charlie.
not in that position
Good point.
now. Again,
Yeah.
he hasn't played all that much. He's fallen down the pecking order at RB Leipzig, but I do think there is something to be said that if you go through enough of these little injuries, and as long as they're not major injuries, you do learn how to take care of your body and kind of some of the ins and outs of dealing with injuries, prevention, getting enough rest, doing extra in terms of like strengthening. So I think for these younger players, because they still are young and they're playing so many minutes, that you eventually get to a point where you can slow things down and you don't feel like you're pushing your body.
I remember
With the way, go ahead.
No. I was going. No. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, with the way Reyna plays and with his propensity to break down, it does make a lot of sense to use him as a super sub. Now, from what I understand of him in terms of his personality, he won't like that.
No.
He wants to play every single minute of every single game.
I don't know who the hell would like that.
I mean, some guys some guys are able to embrace the role of a super sub, right? And given how good he is on the ball, and given how tight World Cup games can be over the final 25 minutes, Gio Reyna off the bench running at dead legs, I do like the sound of that. Though obviously Greg would have to work to get him to buy into it.
Ooh. Yeah, he would hate it. Hate it.
Turner's been good too.
Yeah, yes.
I love this. DeMarcus, I love that point you made too about these guys. None of these guys playing like they have anything locked up, Like, to me, that is just a really good indication of where this team is at mentally, which is exactly what you want to see ahead of a World Cup, where everything matters. Yeah, this is a friendly, and yes, this game has looked like a friendly, but it's that is exactly the type of intensity that I think bodes really well as you approach a tournament like the World Cup. And I feel like that has been something that maybe we've been missing in previous years, that sort of like just that edge, that mental edge. And it seems to be there with this group.
Yeah, and I think, a lot of that goes into, Berhalter's speech before the match, before the game, saying, okay, look, we know this is a friendly, we don't know what kind of shape they're going to be coming in, but, it's about us. None of you guys have a starting position, or, you guys are not on the plane in Qatar yet. So, this game means something, to the team, to us, to go out and put up a good performance and, state your claim to be on the World Cup roster. This is what it's about. And then pushing each other and still playing with each other and kind of, not being, oh, it's about me. I need to, be the guy. I need to score 10 goals and dribble and do everything. They're still playing in the system. They're still playing with each other. And it looks like they enjoy playing with each other. That's the thing I like. You know, they look like they really enjoy playing with each other, and it's really cool to see.
Preach.
Yeah, because I mean, Charlie, we know it wasn't always like it ain't always, peachy all the time. So
It wasn't.
nah. I mean, nah. I'm just kidding.
No, it wasn't.
I think she was being sarcastic.
Oh, that's another show. That's another show. I wish we could do that right now. That sounds like an MLS After Dark situation. But I'm here for it. Oh, one thing I wanted to ask you guys about as we kind of approach the dwindling minutes of this game. We've got a matchup. So Ukraine beat Scotland 3-1. Ukraine's now going to face Wales on Sunday, trying to earn a World Cup berth. What do we think of that matchup, guys? Because that's very enticing.
Ukraine's a better team. And obviously, given all the horrible stuff that's going, it feels petty to equate sports with war and all of that. But we've all seen in these horrible situations, we've all seen people sort of rally behind their favorite teams, and the ability for sports to sort of transcend that. And so there's like a narrative, and these guys are very explicit about the fact that they're playing for their homeland. They're playing for the people on the front lines. They're playing for their people who are suffering. So just in terms of fate and karma and just quality, it feels like Ukraine should win. That said, Gareth Bale in a big game playing for Wales is absolutely terrifying. He's a guy who could just win a game all by himself, score a goal out of absolutely nothing. He's done it in the past, and it's helped Wales punch above their weight pretty consistently over the past 7-8 years. But if I had to put money on it, I would be putting my money on Ukraine.
Yeah.
And that's a scary proposition. That's probably worst case scenario for the U.S. in that group, because any fan, any person that's not even a soccer fan, a sports fan, is going to be watching that game rooting for Ukraine. You feel like that's the world's team if they make the World Cup. So they're already playing with everything they have, because they know they're the only hope their country has, really, like in terms of bringing joy to the people of Ukraine, to bring awareness to what the Ukrainians are all about and what their country is, what they're fighting for. I mean, man, they got talent, but then if you're talking about playing with your whole heart and pride and emotion that goes into it, that raises the level considerably.
Yeah, I mean, you bring up. I mean, I don't know if it's decent to bring up, but you bring up the Eriksson situation from Denmark. When unfortunately he went down, and I'm glad he's okay and he's back to playing. But you saw how the whole world rallied around Denmark. Yep. This is exactly what Matt and Charlie, you guys are talking about. So I see that if Ukraine does qualify for the World Cup, it'll be just like that. The whole world is behind Ukraine. Ukraine.
Yeah, that will be a big one. Again, that game, Ukraine facing off against Wales on Sunday, I believe 12 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Plus at Cardiff Stadium. So yeah, they are fighting for a World Cup spot, and high emotions for sure in that one. It'll be very, very interesting. That is can't miss sports. All right, guys, we're winding it down.
That's probably over for bees already.
Still 2 minutes. Still 2 minutes.
Say 92 what or 93?
I'm at 92.27. Okay.
You're about 10 seconds ahead of me.
So when we're talking about this game chat, what did we learn anything about this U.S. men's national team tonight? Did we learn about maybe a direction that Greg Berhalter is going to go in? What are the takeaways for you, Doyle? We'll start with you.
I thought a bunch of the guys who were on the fringes acquitted themselves well. Obviously, Haji with the goal and a bunch of good runs as well. He looked comfortable. Aaron Long looked comfortable slotting right back in there. I thought, I really like Reggie Cannon. I thought he had a couple tough moments. He much more good than bad, but he didn't help himself a ton. I don't think Joe Scally helped himself a ton, even though he plays with confidence. He's still kind of like a headless chicken out there. I mean, those are probably the biggest takeaways. I think the bigger takeaway is that all the guys who are supposed to be the core, they all look really, really good.
Yeah.
Turner, Zimmerman, Adams, Musa, Aronson, Pulisic, like these are the guys who we need them to be the best players come November. They all look like the best players tonight. So I above and beyond all the fringe stuff, I like seeing that from our best players.
Okay. You still happy? You still in a good mood?
I'm still very happy. I like that everybody was saying like everybody's playing like they don't have their spot locked up already. They're playing. I'm like, Christian Pulisic's not playing like he's worried about his spot. If Christian Pulisic was worried about his spot, there's a 0% chance he would have let Haji Wright take that penalty kick. But no, like I'm really happy. I like when they play free and unselfish soccer, but also they were pretty disciplined as well, other than those big switches, which I have to go back and watch the tape now and figure out why they kept happening.
Oh, look at that stat right there. Bees.
What did I miss?
Yeah, it's first 3-goal win over African opponent since 2009.
Hey.
There we go. Oh, I remember that one. I was losing my mind for that one.
Hey.
But I think we're all happy, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
Delayed, but okay.
We feel good. We feel good. USA beats Morocco 3-0. Okay, DeMarcus, Beasley, what was the best thing that you saw from this U.S. men's national team tonight?
I would say to go back to your earlier question, did we learn? Did I?
Oh
learn
yeah,
anything?
learn. And then the next one.
To be honest, I really didn't. I think the game went, the way the U.S. wanted it to go. I didn't see anyone that made their claim to, on the fringe players that, okay, yes, he's going to be on the 23-man roster. I thought it was good showings from our core group, but I didn't learn much because I think more so because of the competition. It wasn't great. I think they played it like a friendly. You know? I think I hope the Uruguay match will be a bit tighter, and maybe we can see some different scenarios. But for me, I didn't learn much. I think, and to your second question is, I was happy to see Matt Turner have a good game with his feet. I think the balls that he played out when he got under pressure, maybe he didn't play it to a teammate, but he played out of bounds. He didn't play through the middle. Sometimes when he came and played with his left foot to the other side, right on point to the left back or to the right back. I thought his feet was really good today. Something that we all can agree with. Hasn't been his strong suit. So for me, I take away that more so than anything else.
I love that. That's great. Really good. Charlie, what did you learn? What did you like?
I liked that they came out and played with confidence, and there was a lot of good play from Matt Turner in the build-up. I mean, he looked great with his distribution and playing out of the back. He was focused. There were no faulty touches. I liked what McKinney and Adams and Musa did in the midfield. Christian was okay. I wouldn't say for quality. I think he can be a lot more aggressive. So when you talk about playing with a little bit more of a mentality of I got to prove something and be a difference maker, not so much I got to do everything myself, but if I get isolated 1v1, I'm taking my guy and I'm going to keep going. We didn't really see that from him, but I think Haji Wright showed some promise, and that's what I was hoping for. And so with him and Timothy Weah, you got some real game changers. So I'm really happy with what I saw with the U.S. today.
Yeah, no, it's great. I think kind of just going off of what DeMarcus said earlier, like for me, I think it was just the attitude, the mentality that this team came out with tonight with, felt like there were guys that knew that they had something to prove. Love the intensity. And I just seeing a number 9 score a goal makes my heart very happy. So we love that. And I'm very grateful to Christian Pulisic for allowing that to happen. So yeah, I mean, I think this was just, couldn't have gone better for the U.S. tonight. I think Greg Berhalter is going to feel really, really good. We got a cat cameo. We got cat butt.
I mean, I saw some black move around in the cat.
I got it too.
I just saw
Taquito just mooned the camera, and I loved it. That is exactly how I wanted to end this watch along. It was perfect, literally perfect.
Cat butt.
Man, cat butt. Okay, do we think? I know you guys said like this had the feel of a friendly. Do you think that a team like your Uruguay will be? What kind of opponent do you think they're going to be for the U.S. in Kansas City on Sunday? DeMarcus, what do you think?
I think it'll be a bit like today. I don't think it'll be. I don't think they'll think this is a real match that they need to win. So I think it'll be a little bit of today, and I think that's why Greg can move around his roster a bit and try to give some of those guys a chance to play. So I don't think they'll be that much different from the Moroccan team to the Uruguay team, but. You never know.
You never know. Guys, anything to add? Doyle, Charlie, Taquito, what do you think?
Taquito thinks that I should feed him. That's what Taquito's assessment.
He's like, bro, you've been on the stream.
Give him that catnip.
Great.
He's crazy enough already.
I am with Taquito. I'm starving. I can't wait to go crush some food right now. But guys, just a reminder. Thank you so much, by the way. Well, listen, that's
She's been crushing that all night. Come on.
I know it's Tuesday, but I mean you brought the bourbon out, so
you guys, these are watch-alongs. These are meant to be laid back and relaxed. And we need what we need. Okay. But this has been so much fun. Guys, everyone, thank you so much for getting in the chat. Keep doing that. We're going to have more of these starting on Sunday. We've got 4:45 p.m. start for our watch along for that USA Uruguay game. And we are going to go all the way through because at 7 p.m. Canada is going to face off against Panama. So we will be doing the exact same thing for that. So it's buckle up, a long day, lots of fun to be had, lots of bourbon to be drunk, lots of taquitos to be fed. But yeah, for DeMarcus, Beasley, Charlie Davies, Matt Doyle, and Taquito, thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Thank y'all.
Peace.